Alright, welcome and thanks for coming to my channel again. And today we're going to solve remove duplicates from sorted array. I'll consider easy problem. But it's got like a lot of dislikes, which I'm not sure. So let's kind of read the questions and what this question requires us to do. It says, given an integer array num sorted in non-decreasing order. Okay, so this nums could be the series of elements, and that element would either stay the same or it would go increase. Remove the duplicates in place such that each unique element appears only once. The relative order of the elements should be kept the same. So the most important thing over here seems like do not allocate extra space for another array. You must do this by modifying the input array in place with order 1 extra memory. Okay. So I think this is kind of the biggest constraint of this problem, meaning that if we're given an array such as 1, 1, 2, then we should return 1, 2. If we're given an array like 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, then we should only return 1, 0, 1, which is kind of returning the only unique elements, right? But as you can tell, and if you are kind of already experienced with some of the Python programming, they can say, oh, maybe we could use a set, or we could make an extra array and we could store them. But this question says we cannot do that. So how do we finish off solving this problem? Just by iterating one time. That's the idea. So what I'm going to do is override a pseudocode here. So what I'm going to do is iterate over nums and single out the unique elements. This is what we have to do basically, right? And let's think about an example. Let's say nums is probably a little bit of complicated input, which was this. So what I'm going to do is, while I solve this problem, I found it very interesting and useful. So maybe down the road, after you watch these tutorials, so you can utilize these patterns to whatever data structures they're going to use in future purposes. What I'm going to say here is, okay, so I'm only allowed to loop through one time. And I'm gonna do certain actions as I iterate through each element. So if let's say the index is 0th one, and I'm checking, hey, is this 0th one index belong to rest of the elements? If so, we're gonna either pop or remove it. Then I'm gonna check the second one. Hey, is this already inside? Then we don't want to do it. We just increment that index. We just keep going. Hey, is this one already inside of the rest of the array at the back? Then let's just pop or remove that. Okay. And oops, I'm going to keep going and such like that. You get the idea, right? So if we are finding any unique element that does not belong to any of the subarrays that we're inspecting, then we only want to just increment an index and pass through it. Otherwise, if we find that if that's already inside, then we just pop it off. So I'm gonna write while loop. So why do we have to, like, let's think about here for a second. Why, in which scenarios do you prefer to use while loop over for loop, right? We want to use while loop when the conditions, or I'll say the range of iteration kind of varies or changes, or if we have to either add or subtract it, right? Then it's more viable, it's more variable, meaning that it's more changeable. So we want to use the while loop rather than for loop. For loop is we use it when we already know like how many times we exactly want to loop through it. Even though this time we know that we're going to loop through the number of the length of this array, but we're gonna actually deal with a lot of the indices approach. We're gonna either increment or decrease indices over here, right? So in this case, I'm gonna use a while loop and kind of intervene with the increment or decrement, or just getting the increment, getting the index kind of stuck with there. So I'm gonna first declare the index of 0, okay? And I'm gonna say while I is less than what at the last, which is length of nums, meaning it while it as long as it stays in this index stays in the indices of this element. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, hey, if nums of I is this inside of nums of I plus 1 to all the way through the end. If so, we want to actually pop it, right? So I'll say nums.pop of I. We can still say, like, we can do remove, like nums.remove and nums of I. We can do this, but since there are a lot of duplicates, I'd rather try to use the more definitive and clearer kind of approach over here. I'm gonna exactly tell the program that, okay, I want to pop the ith index as 1, okay? Else, meaning that if, it's not inside, that we just only want to increment I and keep going like this, So that's just kind of the only solutions. that I've kind of figured out, which I think is very powerful and useful. So you can kind of use this thought process later down. One thing that I want to point out again over here is some ask, hey, why do we have to like increment I? Because that means, okay, let's take a look at let's walk through, let me help you on walk through a couple of examples. First, 0, is this 0 already inside or here? Yes, so we want to pop this one, right? We want to pop it. Just kind of delete it. Next, is this 0 inside of the rest of it? No, right? So we're going to keep this and just increment I. Just current I is pointing to the 1 here. Is this I already rest of here? Yes, right? So it means there is a duplicate, so I'm going to delete this. Is this I rest of here? Yes, that's a duplicate, okay? Is this I rest of here? No, so increment I, you know? Is this 2 the rest of here? Oops, then delete it. Is this 2 the rest of here? No. Is this 3 here? No, 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 no. So this is what we want to return, okay? You got the idea, right? All right, so let's run the code and see if this is working. And sweet, it's working, and let's submit it. And I hope it'll pass all tests, and as expected, we could see that it's testing the rest of it. So yeah, so this is how you approach this, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you find it useful, please press like and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna keep posting daily questions of easy ones, and I'm gonna level it up to the middle one. So yeah, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.